Um, I'll just give it a minute for my hundreds of followers to join in. This cushion doesn't feel nice too. Back to this one. Oops. Some space. Oh, that's interesting. So, welcome to the broadcast. You can watch, you can join live at Thursday at 8:30 p.m. and Sunday at 10:30 a.m. And to ask questions, you have to ask questions through Skype. And my Skype name is rebekahmaroon. And there are links below with information on about my stream times and my Skype name, etc. Just check in the box below the video. So this is an online meeting, a non-duality meeting. Which is a brilliant opportunity to express this message, to share this message, to hear this message. If you can't come to the speaker, it's a great way of being able to hear non-duality. So if you're not used to non-duality, or you're not used to me as a speaker, then you might be like, well, what's going on? What's happening here? But the way that I normally do these talks, these meetings, is just however it happens, really. And the way it happens generally here is just hanging around for a bit, just sitting until there's something that wants to be spoken about non-duality. This is not about offering you anything. I have nothing to offer you. So it's not about you receiving something, you acquiring something. Normally you have your trolley or your supermarket basket, and you want to take things and acquire things and put things into the basket, adding more things, more ideas, more concepts, more pleasure, whatever. But this is not about taking on something. It's more the other way, putting it back on the shelf. No, thank you. Not this, not this. Netty. Taking away all those things that have made up who that person is, who that person's claiming, this is me, this is who I am. And that may be uncomfortable, to lose all these things, to not have all these things hiding your naked, your, can't say that word, nakedness. So you have nothing, you are nothing, there is nothing. And you have all these, if you don't know, I have a stutter. So just if you didn't know what was happening to me, I have a stutter. So sometimes the words get stuck in my throat, stuck in my lips. Just so you aware of why I'm speaking like this. And I can't hide the fact that I have a stutter. Sometimes it isn't so severe, so the speaking's much more fluent. and then all the times it's not so fluent. Like the stuttering's more pronounced or more obvious. And certain things affect it. If I'm tired, if I'm ill or something, it can be quite, there can be more blocks. It depends. It depends. But so this is like a revealing of whatever that body is, whatever that makes up that human. And it feels as if the human's taken on so much stuff, so much trauma. It's made up of the genetics, the family genetics, so the pass on of the genes, but also it's picked up traumas, the experiences that the humans had affected the human, and so the conditioning, the preferences, the patterns. And normally the human is obsessed, or the person's obsessed with fixing what it thinks is the problem. So fixing those patterns, analysing the patterns, analysing the genetics, and trying to work it out, trying to work out the problem in that, trying to find the solution to why it feels so unhappy, so incomplete, to try and find out what is wrong with me. It's actually a wonderful thing when you start to look into psychology and the family and what's happened in the family, what's happened to you in your experience. It's really quite an empowering thing. That happened here in my early 20s, looking into like what happened to me, why do I feel so awful, what is wrong with me. It was really empowering to, yeah, to look at that stuff, to understand. But you can get a great understanding as well, but that can never end. That is endless, looking at the patterns, the human, what's happened. It's endless. And it's always growing and changing. It's beautiful, really beautiful. But because it's always changing and growing, it's endless, you can never find the end of it. That isn't going to then lead to freedom, because it is endless. That growing understanding of the human is endless. And so what happened here is there's getting tired of that. Like, it became heavy and like, this isn't going to end. And this body quite just yeah, I just got a bit tired of that. Because it wasn't ever going to end. And there was that desperation for freedom. So what is the freedom? If it isn't in psychology or understanding the human, as beautiful as that is, then what is the freedom? The freedom is what is happening. This is the freedom. The end of that journey of you in time. Although I could even say it's not even the end of the story of you in time. It's more, yeah, because that can still play, the idea of you in time, and that's quite useful in terms of that's how this is. In terms of the human brain, it's able to imagine meeting a friend in 2 hours' time. It's able to have that ability of imagination and time. But it's the end of that being a reality. Of that being, of you being in that, someone being in that, and that being the reality, that looking out, that being the position. It's an emptying out of that, and that can appear, but it appears as this freedom. It appears in this freedom. It's what's happening, but it's not happening to someone. It's the end of that someone who it's happening to. So that's just happening. The human is happening. And there's no other freedom than what is happening. This is where the freedom is. not in that story, that timeline of you meeting your friend in 2 hours time. That's a story happening. That's an imagination happening. But there's no freedom found in that story, in that timeline. In that projection. And it may sound really confusing, like which bit's which bits, but it's not. It's really simple, actually. It's really simple. What's being pointed to is the actual experience, what is happening. The complicated part is in thoughts. In thoughts, trying to map it out, trying to understand this in thought. But that is an appearance appearing also. The human is so used to having a position. It always wants to have a position. It needs a position. It needs to stand in something, stand in this belief, stand in this idea. But this requires a vulnerability. It's scary for the person to be vulnerable. But it doesn't matter. This is happening regardless of the person. The person who thinks it has some control over this. But this is happening. This is happening. I've turned the chat box off, if you can see. I've turned it off because I don't want to have people... Oh, how do I do this? I don't want to have to deal with messages from people who are being abusive or picking on me because I'm black, because I'm a woman, because I have a stutter, because I'm so pretty. Sorry. I'm joking. So I've turned it off just so it's just easier, simpler. So now you have to now message me on Skype. So yeah, you can call or message. I have to leave today early because the swimming pool closes earlier than normal. So it closes at 3, I think, today, the health suite does. So I want to get there, try and leave here for like 12:30 if we can. So I want to leave here, end the stream a bit earlier than normal, or on time. If there's no questions, I'm going to probably just leave, but I'll wait a bit and see if any questions come in. Oh. So it may feel uncomfortable just sitting here without getting the intellectual stimuli. It may feel uncomfortable. Maybe thoughts are going crazy, or you feel uncomfortable. Like you need something. You want something, you need something. And that isn't wrong. I'm just pointing it out. Maybe that's happening. You may believe that you will find something. And you may find something. You may find something that's going to relax you or feed the intellect, giving temporary relief, like a drug. But in the end, this is a collapsing back into this, collapsing back into what is happening. I'm sorry, I didn't hear the. I turned off the audio for Skype. Just Hi, Heel. Experience. So I enjoyed your speaking. I have no questions. The only word I still don't like is experience. That's for me a personal thing. I experience. Now I know you don't mean that. So just thanks. I experience. Oh yeah, would you agree that would you agree that it's not that everything happens in freedom, but everything that happens is free? So the first point, the only word I don't like is experience. Um, so you don't like that word experience. Um, yeah. Sorry. Uh, uh, but you're saying I experience. That's different. I experience. Uh, I just feel like just feel like you're trying to make this fit into language, into the intellect, trying to match up language so it fits the idea of this that you might have. You might be holding an idea of what this is, and you want to fix or match up the language to the idea that you have of non-duality. Um, Same with the second part. Everything happens in freedom. That again is two things, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Everything is freedom. This is freedom, but that's not really relevant. I don't feel in talking to you. I don't feel that's relevant. How I say it, it's more like, what are you trying to hold on to? What are you trying to understand in thought? You have non-duality ideas, and you're trying to match it up. Like, that's not wrong. It's just not what I'm talking about. You can't hold on to these non-duality ideas. So I want to know why does it matter if it is, I say, experience? Or why does it matter if I said everything happens in freedom? Like there's two things, everything and then freedom. Why does it matter? If language isn't true, if language can never express this, if language isn't it, isn't what's being pointed to, if meaning isn't it, if ideas aren't it, then why does it matter so much? Obviously, we try and speak and say it in the best way as possible, but why are you holding on to the meaning and the intellect? Trying to find freedom in the intellect. What are you scared of? Of being naked, being vulnerable without the intellect, without having a clue what is going on, without knowing non-duality. What you want to hear me to say, yes, you are right. How you've said it is right. It's better. That's correct. Then you'll feel stronger intellectually. I know it. I've got it correct. I now have something. But this really isn't what the mind imagines. It really isn't what the mind imagines. Mind or thought only knows thought. It only knows intellect. It can't go beyond that. It just it lives in, it just is intellect. It is thought. But that's an appearance appearing. And those thoughts are always changing. The intellect's always changing. Understanding is always changing. Everything is always changing. This isn't about a thing. No thought thing can be it. No thing can be it. Thank you for your question. So I'm going to head off now because I have to go swimming. I haven't been for like 2 weeks, so I want to go and exercise a little bit. So thank you, and I'm back on Thursday at 8:30 p.m. So I'll see you then. Okay, bye.